And is mic on? Yes, it is. We are back. So it is time to start meal prepping everything for tomorrow. So we are doing, I said in one of the videos, a protein oatmeal as always. Then we will be doing a sweet potato ham bake like we did not last week but previous week. And then we will also be doing a chili mac for lunch or the pre-workout meal, and the new chicken fajita fried rice for dinner. So we'll see how that comes out. It's a new recipe. Not sure how that's going to be. I don't know if you can see it, but I already did the protein oatmeal bake. I like doing it in the evenings or the night before. It's just a lot nicer in my opinion. So I don't have to worry about baking stuff tomorrow. And I think the only baking thing I have is the sweet potato ham bake, which is good. So that's always nice to know that I'm not going to have to be using the oven much, though we'll be cooking the chicken stovetop, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to more than likely be using the big pot for that anyway, so yeah. Anyway, let's get chopped into this. So we're going to be dicing up most of our veggies and stuff like that, so let's get working toward that. I went to Costco today with a friend, which was really cool. So bought a lot of good stuff. I got some pink salt, got about 6 pounds of chicken thighs, which I'm using tonight and tomorrow, and I got about almost 7 pounds of 8812 lean ground beef. So that is really nice. That is really nice. So we're combining the onions and peppers together, so we'll use one pot for those two, and then we're doing onions and mushrooms together. So let's see, we need 200 grams of this. So all in all, today has been a good day. Now it's just about getting everything ready for tomorrow. I'm probably going to do the chili mac first, as it's a recipe I've done before, so I know what's going to come out of it, how long it's going to more or less take, and should be fine. The other reason I want to take it a bit slower, or I mean not slower, but do that recipe first so I can have more time to cook the chicken. Because like I said, it's going to be done stovetop, but I'll be doing it in that massive pot that you see me use each time. So we'll see how that comes about. Let's see right here. This will be enough. This will be 200. So next week's going to be an interesting week. It's the day of the deadlifts. Little thing we're having at my gym, which will be pretty exciting and fun. Not sure how much of that I'll record, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. And I also had a situation today too where oh man, so I thought I bought some boneless, skinless chicken thighs about a couple weeks back and froze them. Turns out they were bone-in. And again, you could still use that. It's just like, well, unfortunately, what that's going to mean is you gotta like take it apart and then move the bone, and then am I gonna really have enough chicken? And the way this chicken fajita is gonna work is I'm gonna cut it into like little strips. So truth of the matter is, not gonna be very useful for that. Maybe I'll use it for another chicken recipe. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe break it up and then do some ground chicken with it or something like that. Onions and peppers. So we're gonna be doing a poblano pepper. Let's see. So we only have one. Just, you know, not a big deal. We'll cut it like this. Ooh. Now my eyes are getting watery. You know, the way I was originally taught to cut poblano peppers was by cutting the top and then the bottom, and then removing the seeds and cutting that in half, and you know, dicing it like the way I'm about to do here. So you cut into strips and then dice it. I was watching a video where he was just cutting the sides off, and it looked like he got a little more out of it when he did it that way. So we'll keep it that way too. This is probably not going to be 200 grams though. It's fine. Cool. And I'm just going to dice this up real quick. So I like the fact that a lot of the recipes are diced. It's just easier and quicker. also less room. So, and this recipe calls for like 90-10 lean ground beef. Again, really up to you on how you want to do things. I am going to be doing 85-15 lean ground beef. I got the Signature Farms version of that, and I'm saving that little piece there because my next recipe calls for onions too, so I figured I might as well just, excuse me, have it in there. Yeah, this is not 200 or 150 grams, but that's what it's asking for. It's probably just going to be barely 100 grams, so I'll be 50 grams off. No big deal. So, no big deal. 110, cool. That works out. So, and what else do we have next? So we're going to be dicing about 220 grams of carrots. Look at this freaking bad boy. This thing's massive. So, if you're wondering, a lot of my stuff was already kind of like cleaned in or whatever it was, so should be good and things like that. As always, I don't really peel carrots just because I just don't really care enough to do that unless the recipe calls for it, you know what I mean? Some cases, like, you have to peel carrots, in most cases you don't, so not going to be bothered by that too much. We'll see how next week goes. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a max testing week. I don't know if I'll know it by tomorrow, by tomorrow's video, but I will know tomorrow, obviously, because that's when my coach is going to have to send me my program and things like that. But, yeah, we'll see. And we're going to be doing mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I wish more of the recipes incorporated mushrooms and stuff like that, but, you know, it is what it is. Cool. Man, this thick boy carrot. This might be, it's not going to be 227 grams. It would be at least 100, I'm assuming. So, let's see. And it doesn't call for it, but I like to cut on a bias. I don't know why. It's just, it feels like it comes out a lot nicer when I do that. So, ooh, hate cutting like that. So much easier like this. Cool. So, and when I say, you know, like that, before when I used to cut, right, I used to do like this. So imagine there's food, using my thumb on top or like putting my finger up top, kind of hurt my hand a bit. I learned when you hold it like this, kind of holding the blade, gives you more surface area to grab, as long as you're not, you know, putting your finger at the bottom. And when you start cutting, it just cuts a lot easier. So, cool. This one can be put away, or put to the side for right now. We're going to be measuring out our carrots. So, having containers in this scale, honestly, game changer. Highly recommend it. Let's see. So we're probably going to need one more carrot, which is not bad. Oh, hold up. 227? You know what? We might not. We can just. Oh no, we're not. There's no reason to do that. 223 grams. So here's the thing too, right? With mealprepmanual.com. You know what? I'm not gonna get too obsessive over like a 5-gram difference, 4-gram difference. So here's the thing with mealprepmanual.com. It, like, the base portions it makes is around 5 to 7 depending on what you're doing, right? However, when I'm prepping it, I will increase it. I'll do, instead of 5 servings, I'll make it 10 servings. And if you input that number, it gives you the amount you need, right? So I already know how much I'm going to be needing to make and things like that. But that's just to say that if you are cooking with like the base amount, so in this case 7, then a lot of times you can just cook it the day of. You can cook and chop everything all together. You don't need to prep like this the way I do. I just do it because it allows me to have a little more free time instead of just rushing through the recipe. So in case something goes wrong or I forget something, I have time to, you know, prepare for it. So let's see. The one thing I did not wash, oh, it's probably in the fridge still, is the mushrooms. So it says to get sliced mushrooms, or, I mean, it says to slice up mushrooms. I already got the pre-sliced ones. However, I'm not gonna lie, I do like to dice these, right? It just says to, well, that's not true. I don't necessarily like to dice them, but I do like to kind of slice them a bit smaller, per se. So, but depending on how it looks. So, you know what? Honestly, this came out okay. I don't think I'm gonna slice these any further. This will be fine the way it is. So, but do wash these. Always wash your mushrooms. So let me go do that, and then we'll see what else we need to get ready for this one. All right. Oh, and in case you didn't know, right, I'm putting the mushrooms and carrots together in this one container because those are the two ingredients that are going to go in together at the same time. So I put the onions and plebanos in one bowl to save space, and I'm putting onions and mushrooms together to save space, and I'm putting those two ingredients specifically because when you do the recipe, you just dump those ones in together. So the onions and plebanos will go in first to cook. After a few minutes, we add these two. So there's no reason, in my opinion, right, to keep them separated when you have little space. This is a small apartment. There's not a lot of space. I just have a table and a bench that's already full of stuff right now. So for me, saving space is a pretty important thing. So if I'm going to combine stuff together like these ingredients, then that's just kind of what I have to do, right? It is what it is. Unless there's better ways, right? I'm always open to suggestions, things of that sort. So regardless, this is how things function. It's worked for me, right? Do what works for you. That's the important thing, right? And if you feel it's not really efficient, then try to find different ways to make it efficient. Gee, that thing did not want to close. Also, no, I'm not in frame, but here, I'll just put that right here. I'm thirsty. I am very dehydrated today for some reason. So my big Jalen jug is out. Ugh. So I keep a little water bottle in here, just for the sake of it. Anyway, kitchen. So we have that. Let me just figure out if there's anything else we need, and I think that should be it. So let me just do one last check, and we'll cut back to it, so you're just not watching me in like empty, quiet air. I 100% did forget something. The spinach. So, oopsies. I already ripped the bag up pretty badly. It's okay, we can still salvage it. It's not a big deal. I feel like I should just put that in there already. Whatever, we're gonna commit. What I'm talking about is the onions that I have in this corner right here. I feel like I should have just put those in a container already, but we're gonna commit to not doing that because I'm stubborn. So, and as always, spinach is to be roughly chopped. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just hammer it away at it. That's very annoying. So I got a slightly different bag. It's the, I'm assuming that's store brand, Signature Select. So that's the one I got. Has 227 grams of spinach. The other one I would normally get is something Farms. I can't remember at the top of my head right now. But, and that one had 255 grams of spinach. At the end of the day, it's spinach. If you are down like 100 grams, you're really not missing much. So this is just to get in some vegetables and your leafy greens in there. And spinach is great because it's such low calorie. So, but it's also relatively higher in iron if you're looking for that type of thing. Cool, there you go, roughly chopped, nothing special. Just put it back in the bag and put it in the fridge with everything else. So this is a relatively quicker prep, which is nice, because a lot of the times the ingredients are small. So in the past, oh man, you should see, because what I normally do is I would pick like, let's say, 2 recipes. So let's just say I did a chicken rice bowl for like the lunch, right? So just do that for 7 days, easy, not a lot. Then I would do for dinner, I would have the same meal for the pre-workout meal and dinner. I would have the same meal twice. So let's say I'm doing the let's say I'm doing this one. I'm doing the chili mac. Well, if I'm doing that for lunch and dinner, I need to prep that many meals. So that's 14 meals, right? So I would need to get 14 servings, which means I would have to like double up on all of the ingredients. And the chili mac maybe isn't the best example, but all I'm trying to say is it would be a lot to cut. The ham bulker meal that he has, there's a lot of ingredients to that. There's potatoes, there's carrots, there's spinach, there's onions, there's this and that. So many things that you have to cut, and you have to cut a lot because it is a bulking meal. It is a lot to eat. So when you're doing that, you are using a lot of containers and it takes a long time to prep. But that's how I would used to do it, and that's the reason why I prep in you know, the previous day, because it would take so long just to get the cooking started. I would be on my feet for hours, so like hour prepping everything, then another hour cooking everything, and then on top of that, because there's so much, it's cooking a bit slower. You got to wait time, do this and that. There's so much more liquid, so the boiling point increases. There's just a lot of things that take place there. So if you're going to do that, because I still do like to do that with some meals, if you are going to do that, just know it will be a little more time consuming depending on the meal you're doing. So anyway, let's get to this. So we'll marinate the chicken last. We're going to cut the veggies first since we have that already out. So we're looking for 400 grams of onion. Oops. Jeez Louise, come on, there you go. Where's my phone? Because I gotta prep it for this dang video thing. We'll see. I'm gonna do that on a separate video right now. Okay, so back to chopping. I'm also trying to figure out how I want to even do these videos, because the last time I did this meal prep video, I had to cut out a little bit. That was a terrible chop. I had to cut out a little bit because, you know, when I put everything together, because I don't really edit it, I just throw it together and then, you know, save, essentially. Put a little outro type deal. But when I did that last time, it was like a, what was it, like a 90-minute video? I'm not gonna do that. It's way too much. I think the highest I'll go is 60 minutes, if that. So 90 was a little too high, so I had to cut out quite a bit of just nothing. And that's the thing, it was nothing. It was just open air, like talking. Like, not even talking, it was just open air, it was silence. It was me trying to figure out the recipe. So I was like, yeah, let me cut those parts out, skip to the main parts of what we're doing. So I'm trying to figure out this whole thing too, and it's kind of hard because this isn't like, you know, it's not my full-time thing, obviously. This is just for fun. This is just because I honestly enjoy recording my stuff. So, and so with my full-time job and other responsibilities, it's a little hard to find time to edit stuff and get things out the same day, which I guess I could do it right on a separate day, but I don't know, it just feels weird. I don't really want to do that. All right. That was a thick chunk. I don't know what's up with that. I gotta figure out how to chop things in a way where it doesn't fly off my freaking thing here and get on the floor, but there we go. So we're looking for 400 grams of onion in this case, and I can tell you right now this is probably going to be around 200. Let's try to cut more out of this thing, out of the root here. Nice. Okay. I'm curious how this dish is going to go. The main thing I'm concerned about is the chicken, because I don't really like to cook things stovetop. It's a little slow, or it takes up space that I could be doing for something else versus putting in the oven. But anyway, so let me just check if this is right. We'll cut to the next veggie. So right off the bat, I just messed up. Supposed to slice these, not dice these. Oops. Oh well, we'll dice that side. So let me just see how much this is and we'll get to that. Cool. So yeah, I just sliced the other ones, and I did have to use that last onion, which was really nice. So no waste, no waste. So one time I left a sack of potatoes outside, and that stuff went bad, and I wanted to throw up. So that was a good time. All right. So okay, you know, I'll just show the other way I used to cut it. So I would have to cut the bottoms, cut the tops, and I will say this is a much easier way to cut things, admittedly, because then just cut it down the middle. And then do that in little slices like this. Oh, is this being sliced or is this being diced? Before I just jump into that. It doesn't matter color you use for peppers, blah, blah, blah. So wash and cut your peppers and cut those into thin slices. So these are being sliced, so we're not dicing these. Thank goodness. Because all the difference between slicing and dicing is literally one more step. So we just keep it like this. Could probably do thinner pieces. I will do that with some of them. Right, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think I said this before. I'm secretly 3 years old. Not a big fan of vegetables. So, the more I can hide them within the meal, the better. To an extent, right? There are actually some times where like the vegetables are really good, and I'm like, wow, that's actually awesome. And we'll just cut it the same way we did before. But yeah. Anyway, let me finish cutting these ones, and we'll cut to the poblano peppers. Oh, so that came out to, oh, I think I forgot to, I keep forgetting to like record a lot of this stuff. But anyway, that came out to a perfect 300 grams. So hopefully these will be 300 grams. I don't know, we'll see. Regardless, very happy with how things are coming up measuring wise. That's always very satisfying. So keep that the same. And the only reason I was cutting it the previous way, not like taking the sides off first, was because I felt like I was getting a little more peppers out of it, but I don't know, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Or maybe it really doesn't matter and it's just your preference. Who knows? Who knows? So, just gonna get these things nice and thin. Last time I did a dish with peppers in it that had to be sliced and not diced. Made them a little too thick, which it wasn't that bad. It was just like, oh, that was just a mouthful of pepper that I didn't really enjoy as much. So here we go. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a weirder week because I'm also going to be going out somewhere on Wednesday nights. So, and because of the deadlifting on Saturday, I'm not going to be training deadlifts on Wednesday. So there's not going to be a video Wednesday. It'll be a bit of an awkward week just in general. Not entirely sure how to prep for it, and I'm not going to lie to y'all, I kind of do bad with change like that. I'm a big fan of routine. So, and when there's not routine, it kind of throws me in for a panic. But yeah. Anyway, finish chopping that. We'll get to that one, but we'll cut to the next part when we're ready. Ooh, 240 grams of poblano peppers. So we were close. We were close. Phone is getting low on recipes. I mean, on battery. So we'll go ahead and change that up to 240. Just wait. There you go. All right. Cool, so all that's left now is to mince garlic, so we'll cut to that real quick. Garlic, my favorite my favorite ingredient, honestly. Up there with salt. But let's see, so we're gonna need 30 grams of garlic, so of minced garlic. This one for sure is being minced. So we'll cut out quite a few pieces here. Try to get this big chunk that's right here. I can see it right there. Ooh, there it is. So, as always with this, grab, smash, boom. Excellent. Okay, it's going to take a minute. Let me just... Alright, we're back. So, got it, measured it out, and now it's just time to mince it. Easy peasy. Oof, but yeah. And if you're ever afraid to cook, guys, like, trust me, I get it. I didn't start cooking until a couple years ago, and it was intimidating. It felt very paralyzing. Like, okay, there's all these steps. I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I don't know how to mince. I didn't know how to dice. I didn't really know what that stuff meant. And there's a few things I still don't even know what to do even now. Like, to cut on a bias, I kind of just learned that recently, and even then, I'm pretty sure I'm not doing it right. So, I feel like I'm not cutting things on a bias, or if I am, it's not a very good one. And my cutting skills are not that great, as you can very clearly see me doing right now with this garlic, right? You'll see, like, chefs really slice and dice this thing like a pro. It's amazing. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on for no reason. Let's just get this cut through. So that should be all in all good there. So we'll go ahead and cut the video right here so it's not just me. I'm just going to mince it up a little bit more and then start putting it away. So yeah, we'll just cut when we're done, or on to the next thing. All right, so we need about like 60 grams of lime juice for the vegetables and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do something a bit different. I'll just put it into a little container and see if that'll be enough. So I'm just going to get my squeezer out. Oh, and the other thing too, again, I don't know if it's in the video, but the recipe for the chicken fajita fried rice, day-old rice. The rice is already cooked. Cooked that around like 5 o'clock, and now it's just kind of cooling down at this point. So I feel like I should have gotten a bigger container and transferred it to a smaller one, but we'll see. There you go. And lemons, limes, man. I love to just taste that stuff, dude. So good. Yeah, it should be more than enough, 60 grams. So you get the gist. You don't need to watch me squeeze like 4 more lemons and stuff. So yeah, so cut back to the next thing. All right, we're back. So cool. Got all the spices out. Let the phone charge for a couple minutes. So, you know, I don't know if I said this before, but on my Instagram I do like 1-minute clips of me making one of the meals or a combination of the meals. So I need to get that right here. So hold on. So yes, we're gonna be doing this with this in the way. It's gonna be a little awkward, but it's fine. All that for the fun of it. And you really have to have fun with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I do truly like doing this, you know what I mean? Otherwise, it'd be pointless to have all 3 people see it. You know? I need 60 grams. Oops. Well, that's okay. 67 grams. That's okay. And the other thing too, so I'm using extra virgin olive oil because that's the only oil I have. Just know that tends to be a higher, well actually that's pretty good with like combining stuff. If you're cooking with it, that tends to have a higher like heat concentration. Again, not a chef, this is just what I'm hearing online. So it can be a bit of a different flavor. So just regular olive oil tends to be better for cooking is what I've been told. So now we need to get my juicer again. Don't know why I washed that, or my knife. And then we're gonna awkwardly cut about 30 grams of limes. You know, just for the sake of it too, I'll probably add the little video that I make to the end of this video. So, you know, if you guys want to see exactly what I'm doing, and all the cringy videos I'm making along with this too, so. Awesome. So anyway, you're not gonna watch me squeeze limes again for 10 minutes, so. All right, so that is now done. Everything is looking good. So I think that's pretty much everything. Everything is ready to cut and put in. Everything is ready to go for tomorrow. All I need to do is just measure out how much macaroni noodles I'm doing for the chili mac, but I don't really think that needs to be recorded, truthfully. So that said, guys, I will go ahead and put everything away, plastic wrap, put it in the fridge, and yeah, we will call that a night, and we'll begin prep tomorrow morning. So, all right, guys, I will see you then. Cool. All right, good morning. It is 5:56. I was up at like 5:10. I just realized that I didn't prep the sweet potato ham bake, which is now in the oven. So I rushed through that. very quickly. So that's not going to be shown, but that was like part of the prep a couple weeks ago, so I guess see that video or something, but maybe I'll do it again in the future. But right now we're getting on to the chili mac is what we're working toward right now. So everything is out and prepped. Have the meat out. I just need to cut that open, but I usually do that as we're about to put it in. And so now we're going to be putting in the onions and peppers first. So we'll go ahead and get to that. You know what, let's go ahead and move that camera to that spot over there, see if we can just get some better angles of that stuff going on. So, all right, so back to it. Just getting all this stuff ready to go. And by the way, don't think of this as like a tutorial, because this isn't. A lot of these recipes are, as I'm saying and have been saying, can be found at mealprepmanual.com. So he does a better job at explaining it, and these are his recipes. So I'm just showing me cooking stuff essentially. I'm not in any way trying to pass this off as mine. This is no way in shape mine, and I feel it would be taking away from him if I were to do like a little tutorial video on how to do it, when he has many videos of that sort. So yeah, but yeah, so onions, peppers first. We're gonna let all that stuff go through, and then we're gonna add the carrots and mushrooms in a minute. So yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. And I don't know if I showed it in when I started the onions and peppers, but I lightly salted it, so just to help the water come out. This cooking. Gotta make sure everything's touching the bottom of the pot. If not, whatever, not a big deal. It is what it is. So I feel like what I'm gonna start doing is just getting whole mushrooms, and I'll slice them myself. I like these pre-sliced mushrooms, but I like making them the size I want, right? So if I'm able to do that, things are a bit better, I feel like. But yeah. So we'll let that cook for a few minutes. I'm getting the meat ready just by opening it. I touched it. Getting the meat ready just by opening it, so yeah, we'll cut when we're putting the meat in. Alright, I'll say that's cooked enough for right now. For now and stuff like that. So let's get moving everything to the center of this. And what's nice about, you know, doing the base amount of recipes, right? So in this case, 7 servings. What's nice is that there's actually room in the pot to work with. When you have a lot of, you know, ingredients in there, the problem becomes that it's hard to do little things like this, like make room in the center of the pot and then dump the meat in there. That can be a little problematic. Let's see, there we go. Boom. There it is. Alright. So, as you can tell, yeah, still not too, well, I don't know if you can really tell, but you can see in there, right, there's not too much room, but the meat can at least touch the pan. If you have a lot of ingredients, that's not going to happen. Good luck with that. You're going to have maybe a tiny hole to put one piece of meat in there, but you're still going to put all of it. It's just you're going to have to adjust. That's all. Alright, so we're going to let that brown for a little bit, and yeah, so we'll come back to that. Alright, cool, so that's nice and browned, getting ready to rock. So now we're going to be adding some petite diced tomato and some crushed tomatoes. So let me get this stuff ready to rock here. Yep, there we go. Please stay up. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but I don't know, I guess it's my method to it. Okay. These bad boys in. Excellent. So, I'm using petite diced tomatoes with the garlic and olive oil. I don't know how that's gonna make a difference. They didn't really like have any like regular, just petite diced tomatoes because they're weird, but it's okay. So petite diced tomatoes, milk. I'll pour this one out. I saw that coming. There we go. And then milk, oh, the macaroni, and then the spices. So we're going to take a moment to measure out some of the spices real quick. Cool. Well, hold on. We have the chili powder right here, so do that. 24 grams of chili powder. It's pretty nice. And then the cumin is going to be, I think it was 10 grams. So just get that out real quick. Okay, we're a little short 2 grams, but that's not a big deal. We'll survive. We have another thing of cumin in our cupboard, but short 2 grams, not a big deal. And then again, with cumin, I tend to want to use less because of what can happen with the smell and stuff like that. Okay, so macaroni, chili powder, cumin. All right, now we're going to stir this bad boy. So all in all, we're just going to get this boiling, and then once we get that boiling, then we'll set it to low, cover, and then pretty much cook for the allotted time on the pasta, which, if I'm correct, was like around 8 to 9 minutes. So all in all, that's pretty much the next parts of this, right? Somewhere around that. Again, just go check the recipe. So we'll cut to that when we're at a good point. All right. Nice. Very cool. Very, very cool. So everything's looking good here. I'm liking the way that's coming out. So, and I think that's pretty, oh, well, we gotta put in the spinach and then the cheese. So go ahead and dump that in there. Bada bing. And then, as always, I get like fat-free mozzarella cheese, things like that. So I just finish cheese, stir until, oh, and I'll just put a little bit of cheese. A little bit of cheese. Maybe a lot of bit of cheese. There you go. And then mix that bad boy. And then we're pretty much done at this point. So yeah, now we're gonna get to the main dish, which is the chicken fajita. So it is 6:28. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I woke up today at 5, I was like a little disorientated. Like not in a super major, like bad way, but obviously I was still a little bit tired, you know. So biking yesterday took its toll, you know what I mean? And I did go on a small walk, like a 2-mile walk in the afternoon type thing, just for the sake of it. So according to my watch, I burnt like 1,900 calories, which is pretty cool, but I also didn't go to bed until quite later in the night because, I don't know, I just seem to be having a hard time sleeping right now. I have a lot on my mind, you know what I mean? But, you know, we push through, keep going, and things like that. So, oof, man, this thing's coming out really nicely. All we need to do is just salt and pepper it now. That's all the main things we got to do, but I'm going to do that off camera and, you know, take a little break, like a 5-10 minute break, and then get back to the main dish. I'm also going to plate this too. So I like to try to have as minimal minimal things to clean when I'm done cooking. So I'm going to plate this, and then I'm going to wash this up, and then, I'll do that. I'm going to plate this, wash it up, dry it, well, let it dry, and then I will come back once it's a little bit more dry or fully dry and things like that. It doesn't take too long, and I can just wipe it down with the paper towel after like 10 minutes. So yeah, we'll get to that right now. Let me just salt and pepper, and then get into the next dish. Hey, we're back. Cool. So we finished everything. Probably hard to tell. So the egg bake's done. Came out pretty nicely. So I feel like it gets better each and every time. So very happy with that. Running out of spray oil here, which is okay. We'll get more next weekend. And we'll also get some just regular olive oil too. So we're doing the chicken fajitas now. So we'll see how that goes. We got to cook the chicken in here first, and then we're gonna probably move it to the pan over there. I could use that, but that's a really small pan. This gives a little more space. So yeah, we'll let that warm up, cut to the chicken. So all right, so I took a little look at it, right? And I realize now that I'm going to have to, in fact, do 2 batches more than likely. 2 to 3, so oh well, it is what it is. I think with this, that allows me to do 2 to 3. If I had done that one, I maybe would have done 4 to 5, or maybe I'm just trying to cope mentally. One of those two. So regardless, we'll get cooking these things. So I didn't really need as much spray oil as I put in there. I just remembered that the chicken marinade has oil in it, so it should be cooking already type deal. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see how this comes along. This, I don't know. Never really a big fan of when I have to cook chicken inside like the pot like this, but like I said, we'll see how it goes. Okay, right off the bat, one thing I'm seeing, I should have just done a smaller batch. I should have just done that. This much chicken, one, I did think I put it's a little overcrowded potentially, but 2, there's a lot of liquid coming out, so it's not really cooking the way I want to. I'm going to use another pan to start the other part of the chicken, see how that's coming out too. We learn as we go, guys. We learn as we go. So we'll see how this comes out. Yeah, so the blue pan is cooking a lot better than this one. This one has a lot of liquid in it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to drain a little bit of that in order to get better cooking. So, well, it's okay. It is what it is. I mean, the chicken is still getting cooked. That's the main thing, right? So, if anything, it's getting dipped in sauces. So, hey, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Definitely not looking fajita-like, but you know, like I said, you learn as you go. Now I know. Now I know. Hey, we're doing it, folks. So yeah, we got it done. It wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was going to come out to be. So obviously that first batch. Oh my gosh, the camera's like so off again. There you go. Yep. Nope. Nope. There you go. Sorry about that. So obviously the first batch was not going to be as brown as the other ones, but they are cooked. That's the important thing. So now we're just going to be adding this, using a lot of the oil from the previous, chicken. I'm going to spray a little bit more oil just to, there you go, get that in there. You'll need a lot because there's already a lot of in there type thing. So we're going to be adding the peppers and onions and letting that cook for about 3 to 5 minutes. Probably aiming around 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and get to that. And remember too that the onions are a little botched in the sense that I diced them instead of sliced them. So some of them are going to be diced, some of them are going to be sliced. So, all right, make sure I get everything to mix in there. Very good, very good. Break up the onions so that they're not just one big little slice thing there. Kind of the important rule there. Like this one, see? You see how it's still stuck together? Try to break that up. Can't do is just break the root. There you go. Whew. All right, all the other onions have come out. Look at that, slight finished up together. So we need to pour in a little salt. Get that water out. Cool. So we're gonna let this cook for a bit. So you already know the deal. All right, so we're about 30 seconds left at the 5-minute mark. We're gonna keep it 5 minutes. Things are looking to be coming out well. So getting nice and soft, and a lot of the smells coming through, which is really, really nice. So now we're gonna add the garlic, stir that around, and make sure it gets nice and fragrant. So, ooh. All right, yep. This one, let me just double check just to make sure, because knowing me, I can make a lot of mistakes. So, yep. Onion and peppers, 3 to 5 minutes. Yep. Add garlic and toss. Perfect. Cool. So go to, oh, I forgot to record that. Yeah, it's okay. No big deal. I'm so distracted with this recording that I'm forgetting to do the recording from my phone, but, again, not a big deal. Sure, we all know garlic goes in there, so. As always, make sure to stir it around. Get it nice and in there. Garlic is very prone to burning, so just be very cautious with that. Give it about, I'd say 30 seconds, and it should be coming fragrant. Oh yeah, there it is. Woo, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so now we're gonna add in our rice. So let's make sure that gets in there. Oops, get the video ready. Perfect. So I already measured out the rice. It calls for 900 grams, 6 cups. I'm instead doing 1500 grams because I just want more carbs. So it's going to be a lower calorie meal prep again this week. So because of that, I'm making a little bit more heavier on the side using the rice, making the carbs there. I'm getting enough protein, around 184 grams, and we can just fill up the rest with the protein shake. No big deal. So, right. Dump the rice. Bada bing. And that is a lot of rice. That is a lot of rice. So you don't need that much. And just know, because I am putting a little more rice, the recipe may be coming out a bit differently. So, fragrant. The rice stir to combined. Right. Oops. So what I recommend too, I was kind of messing up there. If you're gonna break up the rice, use the back, the soft end. It tends to be a little bit better. Mother fudger. So, yeah, burnt myself. Tends to be a bit better when it comes to breaking up the rice. Yeah, you can do the front part too, like I was doing earlier, but what ends up happening is sometimes you break up the rice grain, and that just makes it a little bit mushy and kind of awkward. So, but. Nice. A little more effort to it, a little more time, but nothing wrong with that, right? Make sure to get this nice and mixed. Very nice. So, I already see the difference, right? Well, if I understand correctly, the rice should have been a little more colorful, not so much white left over. However, that's if we were using 900 grams of rice. So we're using almost double that. So it's to be expected. It's not going to be coming out the same way. But again, that's perfectly fine. However you want to do it, however you want to make it, it's up to you, right? What are you craving? Or in the case of me, right, what are your fitness goals? So I'm trying to maintain slash, I'm trying to like bulk a little bit, but mostly at this point in time maintain since my comp is coming up. So with that said, I still want to eat enough to have a good workout, but not too much to where it's interfering, or to where I'll not pass the weight requirement. So still, this is coming out nicely. I am liking the way it is coming out, so cool. And if you're wondering, this recipe, according to the website, is more of a cutting recipe, or a weight loss one, I guess, to be more term correct in that sense. So cool. All right, now let's go ahead and add the lemon juice. And mix that up. Ooh, I am sweating, guys. Ugh. All right. Oh, forgot to. Cool. All right, so that's as good as it's gonna get. I don't think I can pour any of this in here. Truthfully, no, that's not gonna do anything. Yeah, there's no point in that. So. All right, because remember, we did lose some chicken to that pot, right? Meaning that we cooked it in there, and then we're going to transfer it over. So at this point in time, everything should be done and ready to cook. So, yep. And all that's left now is to dump the chicken. And remember, too, there's going to be a lot of juices in this bowl, too. So if the rice isn't fully colorful, you still have a chance to get it all nice in there with this. So don't be afraid. And look, if you make a mistake, big whoop, big whoop. I've messed up plenty of recipes. I've still eaten them. There's only one recipe that I can remember that came out bad. And I mean bad. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what happened. But it was like a huli huli chicken. And I did it one time before, and it came out great. It came out really nice. And you know what? This is actually looking really nice now. Look at that, nice and brown. So, perfect. But anyway, I was making the huli huli chicken, and I've done it before, and I liked it. So I was like, you know what? Let me do it again. Sorry. It's an easy recipe. Nice. It's an easy recipe. I'll do it again. For some odd reason, when I did it, like the chicken came out very, very soft. It was cooked, but it was squishy. Like it was just disgusting. And I remember trying to eat it, and I legitimately gagged and threw up. And I was like, okay, this is ruined. I need to toss it out. So, but anyway, we're done. All else I have to do is salt and pepper that. Then we'll get the plating done, and we'll finish up with the final video. So, alrighty guys, I'll see you in just a few moments. Alright, so we're done. We are done. So we'll go ahead and get started over, going over what we have today and things like that. So I feel like I don't really need to go over much with this one. You already know what this is. This is a protein oatmeal bake. Use lemon cheesecake, butterscotch chips, and I ran out, so I'm going to be getting new, baking chips and stuff like that. Not much to say on that. You already know how that goes. So we did a sweet potato ham bake once again, and this one looks like it came out a little bit better. Looks a little bit nicer overall, so very happy with that. That'll be like the lunch. I tend to swap these for lunch and breakfast, so sometimes I'll have this for breakfast and this for lunch. Sometimes this will be for breakfast and that will be for lunch. So now for the pre-workout meal, I think what I'm going to do is actually have the chili mac as the pre-workout meal. So I think nutrition-wise, this one will have a little more carbs compared to the chicken fajita. Yeah, so obviously it'll be up on screen. This will be the pre-workout meal, which is always nice type thing. I do enjoy a good chili mac. And as you can tell, I don't really have as much as I normally do today. And the reason is because, as I said many times already, it's a bit of a weirder week. So we're going to see how things go. I want to have a little more leeway to where if I'm going to be working out Saturday, then, I only need a few meals to get me through like Thursday, Friday, since I'm not going to be working out those days or anything like that. So, or Wednesday, Friday. It's a weird week, but yeah. So in case I need to do things up on the fly, or I'm going to go out Saturday, like afternoon to eat, it's good to have those things ready. So in other words, I don't have a lot of food just in case I need to eat out and I don't want to waste my food type thing. So, but for dinner, I'm excited for this. This is the chicken fajita fried rice. There's a little lemon on the side there. So this is a very exciting meal, a brand new one. Obviously, as you saw today, it didn't come out as I had planned it. I wanted the chicken, or most of the chicken, to be a little more brown. But hey, now I know not to put that much chicken inside that pot. So you live and you learn, and you just improve each time. So, but yeah, we'll see. This coming week is already stressing me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you, just because of the whole situation regarding like deadlifts on Saturday instead of on Wednesday. So I have to make sure that whatever I'm doing Wednesday, I'm not eating too much, I guess. Or maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. Maybe I shouldn't really get so into the nitty gritty of it. But regardless, we'll get through the week. Not a big deal. So with that said, guys, thank you for watching. And I will see you guys, tomorrow. It's Monday. Squats. So I'll see you guys then. Bye. Why? I didn't see you there. It's Sunday, guys. So you know what that means. It's meal prep time.